Hello. There we go. Attempting to get everything going on Instagram as well. And it looks like we are good. All right. Yep. There we go. We are good. Awesome. Woohoo! And somebody joined, so I know that it's definitely working. A couple. All right. It is definitely working over there on Instagram. And usually, once I know Instagram is going, that means everybody is going well. Yay! So, I don't know exactly what was wrong with the camera and everything last week. I have dual monitors attached to my laptop, and only one of the screens had been working, and everything was just a little wonky, and they're like 6 months old. So I just turned everything off, unplugged everything. I uninstalled the monitors, and then I plugged everything back in, turned everything back on, reinstalled the drivers, and now everything works hunky dory. So there was something wrong, and the whole turn it off and turn it back on again thing worked really well. Um, so yeah. Which reminds me, if you haven't seen that movie Skyscraper with The Rock, it's a really fun movie. And yeah, the whole turn it off and turn it back on again is what reminded me of that. If you've seen it, that would make you giggle. So we have a few people here. We have Monica. Good morning. Happy hump day. And Sarah. Hello. And it looks like, yep, Instagram is just scrolling on through all nice and happy. Cool beans. So yeah, I think I have solved my technical difficulties from last week with the turn it off, turn it back on again, but just the extreme version. And hello, Karen. Um, and look, the because it's not mirrored, I get everything backwards. The drawers are finally in my little thing back there. Yes, I have actually had a few moments to do a little bit of cleaning and organizing. Still, most of my time is dedicated to getting Crochet Foundry, getting the issues going and all of that. But I have been able to hire people and delegate some things so that I'm not quite as busy, and I've gotten a little bit of cleaning and organizing done, which is nice. Good afternoon. Okay, so I have the hiccups today, which is just weird. Um, all right, so we are about to launch our June issue of Crochet Foundry, and the two newsletters that I've sent out about the June issue got a record number of unsubscribes. So I think we're getting rid of some of the not so nice people because I'm assuming the reason for the record number of unsubscribes is because I mentioned that it was a special Pride issue. So I'm like, oh, cool. Those weren't my customers anyway, right? Like those aren't the people you want in this community anyway. We want kind people in this community. So people who are going to be offended by a Pride issue are probably not the people we want in our community. So that's nice when they see themselves to the door, right? So I am super excited. I mean, I think you've all figured that out by now that I am super excited about the June issue. It is really cool. Everyone who's seen it, the proofreaders, the designers, when they got to see it, everyone is super excited about it. It is so cool. I have some sneak peeks. You've probably, if you've been following along on various social media, you have probably seen some of the sneak peeks. I'm just checking Instagram here if there's any comments. Okay. So you probably have seen some of the sneak peeks, but I can share some more with you. Sarah is also excited. Sarah hasn't seen it yet. I mean, sometimes Sarah and Gabby, who is actually listed as Cat, but I don't see her right now, get some sneak peek things, like bigger sneak peeks, because they're my mods, but they haven't seen it yet. Karen, Your cleaning has gone by the wayside while doing layout, and today is prepping easy to read and is prepping easy read. Oh yes, yeah, that's the thing. Um takes layout takes way more time than I would like it to. Um, and when you're publishing one issue a month, that's a lot of layout. Hello, Monique. And yes, neither can I, Karen. I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's so, so, so awesome. Y'all are going to love it. Let's see. So we have, I can give you my little, I set up the screens. There we go. I just had to find the right button. Look. Okay. Oh, and we have, of course, now that I have the two screens, I also have the two mice and two little cursors. Hi, Jen. All right. So here we have a sneak peek. So if you all remember, or if you don't, doesn't really matter. I'll tell you anyway. Oh, and over on Instagram, Erica64 says, "Good morning. Good morning, Erica." That every pattern in the June issue, the sample, like the patterns themselves are not necessarily like, there's definitely there's one or two patterns in there that are like, oh yeah, this would be really cool for like a pride parade or something, but there's nothing necessarily about the patterns themselves that make them like something that you would only want to wear for a pride celebration or something like that. They're all, they stick with the general, with the idea of Crochet Foundry of being very versatile. You can wear them in several different ways with several different styles and all of that. What we did was each pattern, the sample itself is made in the colors of a different pride flag, and then the with each pattern there's a little picture of that pride flag and a little explanation of what that pride flag stands for. So it gives you a little bit of education along with your totally awesome Crochet Foundry patterns that, you know, you're going to find a lot of them in every single issue that you like. I'm not going to guarantee you're going to like every single pattern in every single issue, because come on, that's like, that doesn't happen to anybody ever with any magazine. So that's just not the way it works. But you're still going to find a decent number of patterns that fit for you in this issue, just like you would in any other issue. Let's see. Wait, how far back did I miss? Made you dig out and dust off your crochet hooks, Karen. Nice. Because I think Karen mostly knits. Hello, Darcy. Yes, I know, right? The nails. Well, the nails are green, but they work. They're the same pasteliness. Yes, definitely. Brittany has pretty nails to go along with her pretty, pretty project over there. Oh, they look like Tony Lipsy hands and also her yarn. No, that's actually Brittany Sledge, who is a lovely designer and a lovely human, has designed for us before and has designed this pattern that is actually, as you can see, in the trans flags color, and using furls hooks. And that is We Crochet palette yarn. Let's see. You don't have your pride in Austin. You don't have your pride parade until August because they wait for the University of Texas students to get back in town for class. That's kind of cool. Not bad, Brit. Oh no, not that Brit. Not that Brittany. Not this is Brittany Sledge. I Not bad Brit is the she is the founder of Makers of Color Collective. And Crochet Foundry works with her in that whenever we put out a design call, I always send her a little extra message and be like, hey, don't forget, we sent out the design call. And, if anybody, make sure that people know that it's there, because I want to make sure that we're getting a nice selection of designers sending in proposals. If you all saw yesterday, I shared the article from the Craft Industry Alliance, and they interviewed a few different craft people within the Craft Industry Alliance who were doing something special for crochet for Pride Month. And Crochet Foundry was the first one of those that they interviewed. Excuse me. And I was going somewhere with this. Oh, yes, one of the things that when I shared that interview yesterday, and I was sharing it around the internet, one of the things I had said in the share part was that, you know, within Crochet Foundry, within our makers, within our staff and our contractors and everything, we have usually, you know, most of the time it's over 50% identify as queer and or BIPOC, person of color, or indigenous, you know. So, and the reason for that is because I do my best to make sure that when I put out a call for designers, for assistants, for photographers, for whatever I'm putting out a call for, I work really hard at making sure that that call is going to a very diverse group of people. And when you send out the call for the people to a very diverse group of people, you get the applications in from a very diverse group of people. And then you simply choose the best person for the job. Okay. And when you do it that way, you still end up with a very diverse group of people. And this is something I'm always having to explain to people who are like, oh, well, this is a diversity hire. This is a this hire, that hire, whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. If you put the call for the position out to a diverse group of people, and then you take the best person for the job, you will find that you end up hiring a diverse group of people. It's just the way it works. Sometimes the best person for the job will be a straight white cis woman like me, but sometimes the best person for the job will be anything but, you know. So it's fine. Put out the call, make sure it goes to a diverse group of people, and you'll end up with a diverse group of people. And that's what we have here at Crochet Foundry. And I definitely work hard to make sure that our calls are going out that way so that our final results are nice and diverse. Anyway, so we have here our first of our little sneak peeks. And this is, I already said it, but does anybody want to say which flag this sample is made in? Let's see, I'm going to take a moment and check over on Instagram to see if we have any other comments. No other comments? No. This is the trans flag for people who are transgender, which means they identify as something other than when the doctor said, congratulations, it's that's not what they identify as. That makes them transgender. So there we go. Sarah's got it. So here, I think I have a couple sneak peeks from this one because Brittany gave us some. Oops, that button didn't work. I'm going to have to go over here. Oh, wait, I think this is my touch screen. It is, but I don't know. There we go. Now I got it. Where is my, there we go. I'm like, how do I make it go to the next photo? Because I put it full screen and now I can't see all of the little controls. Let me hide this little button so you don't have to keep reading it. It's annoying me. Okay, so yeah, Brittany. Well, somebody said not bad, Brit. I've got Brit in my head instead of Brittany. Brittany sent us a few really cool photos of this. Does this qualify as filet crochet? I love this stitch. You can see it better in this one, right? It makes those little like boxes. And I consider it a kind of, here we go. Now you can really see it well. I consider it a kind of filet crochet, right? Because it's worked like filet, but I don't know. Anyone? Yeah, then Monique agrees with me. I mean, it's done in the same kind of style as filet is. I just didn't know if if it had to have a certain amount of mesh or whatever. Okay, see, Sarah, I would call it filet since it's making shapes. And that's what I would too. Yeah. So exactly. I would call it filet. So anyway, it's very pretty. Oh. Just as I said, it's very pretty. Monique says it's very pretty. I'm telling you, Monique and I are on the same wavelength all the time. It's awesome. All right, so I think that might be the last one of this. Does anyone want to try to take a guess as to what they think it might actually be? You'll have to wait till Friday to find out what it's going to be. But if you want to guess, you can. Let's see, and I'll go and see what the next. Oop, I think because I clicked on something else, now when I hit the next button, it doesn't do the next thing. There we go. Yep, now we are on to a different pattern. Monique says, great minds think alike. Yes, we do. Sarah thinks it's a scarf. All right. So now we are on to this one. This one is from this picture. I will tell you, this is the design that has, this is the flag that actually has two patterns in the color. And this particular design is the design that's the most like, was practically made to be in a pride parade. And the reason for this, it was originally going to be one. There was originally going to be one pattern in this color, and we had this awesome yarn made. Okay, so that yarn was actually made for us. It's a new colorway from Dirty Girl Yarns. Oh my gosh! Now I have the wrong song name in my head. She named it after a song. It's in the magazine. It says what the name of the colorway is. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. Is the name of the colorway, and she made it for one of the specific flags. If you guys can think of the flag, let me know. It's one that not a lot of people know. This one. So anyway, so Heidi from Dirty Girl Yarns made us this amazing yarn, right? And this is the kind of yarn that she makes, and you'll see a bunch of pictures of her yarn. I have a whole little like picture thing. I am so descriptive. Like, I can write beautifully, but then if you want me to speak, sometimes it just like the words fail me. It's like a picture only kind of article. I just like shared a bunch of pictures of the making of this yarn where she like had done each individual color, and then and then it spun together. And then I shared a bunch of pictures of some of her other yarns that she has. And they all have this like the rawness of it, and like the little curly pieces hanging out. They're just super fun. And it's a yarn you use as like part of a project. You don't really make an entire project out of this yarn. It's an art style yarn. So of course it's going to be a higher price point. And that's what happened. Was originally the design we had for it originally, we realized after all the yarn was made, all the yarn was sent to the designer, and then Heidi was like, I just sent all this yarn to the designer and I'm totally cool with it. It's awesome. But I'm realizing that if that's how much you use for one of these items, it's going to have a really high price point. And we're all like, oh, yeah, that's not very nice of us. So we kind of stuck our heads together and figured out a second design that would use significantly less of the Dirty Girl yarn so that it was still something that you could afford to make. And then in the first design, we used a yarn. We used a coordinating yarn from, I think it was Lion Brand. So here we go. Our guess here is aromantic. No, this is not aromantic. But that is a very good guess because that is an obscure one. This one is actually, it's funny because it's an obscure flag, but not an obscure thing. Like everybody knows what it means when you say it. This is the gay male flag. A lot of times people just think of like the rainbow flag is the like gay flag. Um, but this is specifically the gay male flag is the color, what these colors are. So let's see now. Yeah, you're gonna, this yarn is fabulous. You're gonna love the Dirty Girl yarns. All right, so now we have this one. Does anyone know what flag this is? And does anyone want to take a guess as to what it's going to be? I think this one is a pretty easy guess as to what it's going to be because of all of the notions along with it. And I have to say that I really like working with DMC. They are a good company to work with. Nice people. There was a little bit of apparently the designer for this lives in Finland. And apparently at the same time that we sent in Sarah's got it. Sarah is on it. Sarah's like non-binary earrings. I will tell you that they are definitely the non-binary colors. But I'm not telling you what the actual finished project is, but still. That looks like a sweater that you can wear on your ears. Oh my God, Monique, I love you. Finland, yes, Finland. So Sarah, yeah, the designer lives in Finland, and specifically requested to do the non-binary flag. It was fun when some of the designers had like specific requests as to which flag they wanted to do. I thought that was awesome. But anyway, at the same time that DMC had to send the thread over to our designer in Finland, apparently there was somebody else in Finland they were sending stuff to. Now, our designer ended up having to go out and buy this thread herself because it wasn't showing up, right? So I was like, all right, buy it and I can pay you back. And then if it comes, then you just have more thread. I was like, but if you can like buy it yourself so that you have it and send me the receipt, I will reimburse you. I mean, sometimes things happen with yarn support, right? Well, apparently here we are months later, and apparently both of the things that they sent to Finland just got bounced back and forth a couple times. And I don't think they ever made it. Either one of those orders ever made it to Finland. I don't know what happened with the other, I don't know what the other Finland order was. But in this case, thankfully, it was something that was easy enough for the designer to get herself, and I reimbursed her for it. But to me, it was funny because it didn't end up being a huge problem. And because I've worked with DMC enough to know that that's not a them problem. That was like some sort of fluke in shipping problem, because they are super, super awesome to work with. But it was just like, okay, you know what? Of all of the yarn to have some sort of issue like that, at least it wasn't something where it was like sweater quantity of $30 a skein yarn. It was like, okay, that's easy. We can deal with this. But yeah, it's things you don't really think about until you own a magazine. Like when you're getting that much yarn sent to that many places all across the freaking world. I didn't realize just how international our designers were until I had to have like yarn companies where each yarn company was sending to like 3 different countries. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of international designers. All right. So then, oh my goodness, these mice, man. Oh, I found the little button. All right. So here's the next picture. And I know that's not a color from the first one, right? Well, this one actually went ahead, and because the finished project was the finished piece was something kind of small, this designer actually made 2 sets of samples using 2 different flags. So she did as Sarah said, the non-binary flag was the main one, and then she just made a second sample using the traditional rainbow flag. So, and this one is really cool. This is one that I love because you can make this item with whatever colors you want to, you can make it for your favorite sports teams. You can make it for your favorite colors. But she also, in the pattern, put instructions on how to do several different flags. So like she gave you know, do this with this color and this color and this color. So like this is awesome for if you have, because it's a small project, it's a quick project. If you have a bunch of people going to um, a pride parade or whatever, you can all have your own little items to go ahead and use in your different flag colors that you want to use. So that was super exciting. I love it when I have a designer who's like willing to like scheme with me. So she was also, she was a joy to work with. So okay, and we're a little bit out of order, but remember how with the gay male flag, I told you that we then with the original design went back and had to we went back and the original design got made with a more affordable yarn with a lower price point yarn, and then we made the special design using the higher price point yarn that so we didn't have to use as much of it and people could still afford it. So these were the replacement colors. So this gives you a good idea of what the colors of the gay male flag are that the Dirty Girl yarn was representing. And so these are in a different pattern, which I think is in the next picture. And I'm going to check some of these comments real quick while you look at this. So this is what the original pattern was, and all of this part of the pattern and other parts of the pattern too, there was like this base of gray, but there were a couple places that were going to be the Dirty Girl yarns, and we realized that it required so much of the Dirty Girl yarns, it made it several $100s to make one item, and that just felt like it was a little bit too high of a price point for you guys. It didn't feel very kind of us. So, and you know, rule number one is be kind. So that's why we went ahead and stuck our heads together and came up with the second design. Let's see, what size hook is needed to work with thread. I've never tried and I don't have steel hooks yet. Well, Monique, it all depends on which size thread you're using and your particular design. So all of that information will be along with the design. And yes, you are going to have to get some steel hooks to make this one. And it's totally worth it. All right. Excited for this pattern. You love thread crochet. Okay, Made with Love and Fibers, which is Joanne, loves thread crochet, and your children now reach age where it's safe to start wearing earrings again. Safe to start wearing earrings again. Oh, yeah, because when they're really little, they don't necessarily mess with them, but then they get to that certain age where they want to play with them and take them off, I guess, probably. My daughter got her ears pierced at 12 or 13, and I took her to a piercing place, like a place that does like tattoos and piercings, and their rules was that the child has to be old enough to convince them that it's the child's decision to have the earrings, not the parents' decision. And then we had to bring the birth certificate. We had to bring a birth certificate and ID to prove that we were the child's parents too, which was great. I loved it. I loved the safety that they had going on in there. Yarn. Yes, that was from, I think, the picture of all the yarn that I put up earlier. Oh, being kind, we could always turn that blanket into maybe a scarf with the same colors, right? There you go. Yes, if it was a big old blanket, you could just make it a scarf instead. There's always ways to, but you know, and I thought about that. We did when we were brainstorming if there was a way to still make this original pattern that was going to have the Dirty Girl yarn with the Dirty Girl yarn, and we were trying to figure out what if we did like every other row or every third row or whatever. Like, you know, I had a lot of these like brilliant ideas that are really great to come up with when you're back here, you know, not with the yarn in your hands. And the designer was like, you know, I feel like she felt like it wasn't going to do justice to the design or the yarn to do any of those. And you know, she's the designer, it's her vision, and she's also the one with the yarn in her hands. I'm not. So, you know, we wanted to make it affordable, but we still wanted it to be a fabulous design. And so that's why we ended up coming up with a second design instead. We kind of stuck our heads together to figure that out. And, I was like, oh, well, what do we do this? Or what do we do? And I'm like rattling off all of these different ideas. And I'm sure she's in the background going, oh my God, just stop it already. Somehow she took all of my like, blah, 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 and just went, what if we did this? And I was like, oh my God, I love you. And it's so perfect. Like is the moment she sent me the photo, she sent me a photo before she shipped it out to me. And I was so excited. And then we got the photos from the photographer on the model, and I sent the photo over to Heidi from Dirty Girl Yarns of the other one and actually used the yarn. And oh my goodness, she was so excited. So, sounds like you're traveling the world for that ear piercing. No, we weren't. We actually, it was a local place. It was a local place here. I live in Jersey, so it's really easy to find a really good, highly rated piercer and tattoo place. And yeah, we went to Google and checked their rating. And then like when I checked the rating, I went and I read the ones that had low ratings, and all of the ones that had low ratings, they were all because of user error. So it was like somebody who didn't properly keep their piercings cleaned, and so they got infected, or people who didn't follow the basic instructions, and therefore they had a problem. I'm like, okay. So in other words, there's really no negative comments here. It's an awesome issue. Like, I want every issue to be amazing, but I did not want to give anybody a reason to not like the Pride issue. I wanted it to be very clear that if they didn't like the Pride issue, it was because they were being homophobic, transphobic, whatever. It's like, yeah, this issue is awesome. And it's not just for the queer community. At all. In no way, shape, or form is it just for the queer community. It's celebrating the queer community, but it's not just for the queer community. All right. Here we have a different color, a different set of colors. This is another flag that would represent one of my children. The first one was, of course, the transgender flag, because my son is transgender. This is another flag that would represent one of my children. Anybody want to guess what the flag is or what the project is? This one comes from one of our designers who designs so often for us and lives in United Arab Emirates, which is a nightmare when it comes to shipping. So yeah. This was definitely a comedy of errors when it came to the yarn for this one. In the end, because this was such a tight schedule, because when I bought the magazine, the schedule wasn't as long. The production time for each magazine wasn't as long as I would like it. This is one that I ended up having the designer buy the yarn locally, and I paid for it because it just, there wasn't, we couldn't find a yarn company that would actually ship to her in the time frame that we had, which was one of the things that made me go, yeah, we definitely need a longer time frame for some of this stuff. Sarah, I'm trying to remember this flag. I don't think it's lesbian because I think that one has purple in it. Sarah, this is the lesbian flag. There is no purple in it. Yeah, exactly. It's like, isn't that funny? Yeah, the one you were pretty sure it wasn't, it is. So, yes, yes, there is purple in the buy one. This is, yeah, the lesbian flag is also sometimes called the sunset flag. So my children taught me that apparently there are code names for the various flags. So like, this is the sunset flag. The trans flag is the cotton candy flag. I wanted to find all the code names and name them appropriately. So like the cotton candy one is the cotton candy something. This one is the sunset something. But we couldn't find, like, between my kids and I, they knew some, we found some, but not all of, I don't think all of them have code names. We couldn't find some of the code names. So we did the best we could, but we had fun. Yes, and they're beautiful colors. They are. It's beautiful sunset colors. The lesbian flag is just, the colors are stunning. Yeah, I actually have a skirt that I made with Crystal Palace yarns, which of course has been out of business for like 5 or 6 or 7 years at this point. But I used to do designs for them. Well, I did designs in their yarn that I would publish on Jessie at Home. But they loved, they were always, sending me yarn, and they were like, can you make some sort of like Valentine's Day pattern with this yarn? And they sent me these beautiful, it was like all these beautiful pinks and then a nice orange that went with them. And I made this really fun skirt. It's called the looped in love skirt, right? And one day when I was working at a booth for Knit the Rainbow, I was wearing it, and somebody commented on how much they liked my lesbian skirt. And I was like, what? And I'm looking, and as soon as they said it and I looked, I was like, oh my God, it is. It's the colors of the lesbian flag. They're a little bit out of order, but it was definitely the colors of the lesbian flag. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I didn't notice. But second of all, my lesbian daughter did not tell me that I was going out to work for a charity that works with queer community wearing the lesbian flag. I'm like, she's like, I didn't notice, Mom. I still think she didn't tell me on purpose. I think she noticed, and she didn't tell me on purpose because she was hoping that like I would get hit on and it was going to be funny. But then again, it's not like I get hit on by men either. So other than my husband, he still flirts with me, which is awesome. But it was pretty funny. It's amazing that we have the opportunity to educate all the different flags and also have the opportunity to celebrate all the reasons for the flag. Exactly. It's like, and that's the thing, one of the big points of this issue and doing it this way was so often people are like, I would like to understand this. I would like to, I have this question, and you don't always know where to ask the question. And sometimes you feel like you might offend somebody if you ask the questions. And you don't want it can be hard when you're trying to learn and you're not sure where to go. So I just wanted to give some really easy, kind, like nicely presented, not preachy, a little bit of education about here are the different flags and here are what they mean, so you can understand a little bit. You learn I did tons of research on each of the flags. So with some of them you learn a little bit about what it means to, what's a lesbian. You learn a little bit about that. You learn a little bit about what the actual different colors stand for with some of them. And with some of them, you even learn a little bit of history. So it's really, I was just trying to make it educational in a light and easy and friendly way, while giving you patterns that anybody can use in the colors given or in other colors, but anybody can use them. None of these patterns scream, I need to be made only for a queer individual. None of them do. But there are like 1 or 2 that are like, this is great for a pride parade, but they still work for other things as well. So let's see. Move this over. Here we go. All right, this one is probably like one of the most obvious like sneak peeks as to what it becomes. And then the flag. Oh, I remember which flag this is. So, right? Oh crap! I might have to look this one up. Oh my gosh! I feel like no, yes, no. Oh yes. Okay, I got it. I remember which one this is. It's the one that I thought it was from the beginning, and then I just like for some reason was like, wait, no, that's not right. No, it's right. There we go. Sarah, pansexual. Sarah says it's a top, and Sarah says it's pansexual, and so does Monique. And Angela agrees. Yes, this is the pansexual flag, and it is the pink for it's not the I don't think it's the pink. It's not. I had always thought it was the pink for being attracted to women and the blue for being attracted to men, and then the yellow for being attracted to anybody in between. Um I can't remember between the pink and blue which one is which, but one of them means being attracted to people who are um in a traditionally straight way, so a woman attracted to a man or a man attracted to a woman. Um the other one stands for being attracted to somebody in a traditionally um in like a traditionally gay male or lesbian way, where it's a male attracted to a male and a female attracted to a female. And then the yellow stands for being attracted to everybody in between, everybody within the gender spectrum. Which is what makes it different. It's kind of when people say that bisexual and pansexual are kind of the same thing. I tried to explain a little bit of this in the magazine. It can get very muddled, and it also varies from person to person. Um, so, um, so, so yeah, it can get very muddled, but basically, it's bisexual was initially coined when we were thinking on a very binary way, and pansexual became something when we started thinking more genders on a spectrum. So, da, 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 da. So we have woohoo. Oh wait, we had woohoo. I'm straight too, Angelus. All right, it's clear to explain since more people recognize that. Yeah, it's easier to explain now since more people understand non-binary and stuff. Deadpool is chronically pan. Yes, Deadpool is. Deadpool is also hysterical. Me too. You too. Oh, you too straight? Yeah. There are some of us. Yep. And the thing is, like, I'm a straight cis person, and it's not like that. It's not like I have a problem with straight cis people. I have plenty of friends who are straight and cis. I'm friends with people who are straight and cis. Now it's we are our important part of Pride is making it clear that we are accepting and doing our best to understand what everybody is. Had a very in-depth conversation with your daughter. Monique had a very in-depth conversation with her daughter because I was getting pansexual and polyamorous mixed. Yes. And that's what I was doing when I was looking at it at first. I don't know why. I think because they both start with a P. Polyamorous would be people who are there's kind of two main categories of it. Polyamorous can either be like non-monogamous relationships, so you're in relationships with multiple people, and then there's also like but each relationship is still it's only two people per relationship. It's just that like person A might be in a relationship with person B and in a relationship with person C and in a relationship with person D, but they're not all in a relationship together. And then there's also a version of polyamory, a type of polyamory where you might be more than two people in one relationship together. So polyamory covers both of those things. So it's non-monogamous relationships and relationships that are composed of more than two individuals. Either way, and every polyamorous person that I know, doesn't mean everyone out there, every polyamorous person that I know has a very strict rule of they will only be in relationships with other people who are polyamorous, which obviously if you're in a relationship with more than two people, everybody's polyamorous. But when you're in the kind of polyamorous relationship where you have individual relationships, two-person relationships, but with multiple people, it'll be like, I might have 3 different boyfriends, And that would mean that my rule would be that each one of those boyfriends has to also be polyamorous. They may not necessarily be in another relationship at the time, but they have to also be polyamorous, because you just want to make sure that nobody gets upset, you know? Um, so yes, you're an ally and have a lot of friends of different gender identities and sexualities. Yeah, it's only because it starts with a P, right? Polyamorous and pansexual, it's only because it starts with a P. Pray for those who aren't kind and accepting, Angelus? Is that who you're praying for? People who are not kind and accepting and allowing, and who aren't allies? That's what I was saying. I was like, what was it that I said about allies, about those of us who are straight? We should all be allies and making sure that we are being obvious, that we are kind and accepting and a safe space for everyone, and allowing everybody else to live as who they are, because that's who they are. That's who they were born to be. And if you are a person who believes in God, then, it's who God made them to be. I saw a really cool thing. Well, I don't want to get into theology because that's a whole different thing. But yeah, exactly. You want everybody to accept everybody the way that they were born. All right. People who are not cis have way more challenges to face. Yes, definitely. Trust me, my son is trans. I know that. I don't know what sounded like a good idea. Oh, probably making sure that if you're in a polyamorous relationship, everybody is polyamorous. Is that it? So, yeah, we are so, obviously we're going to get into these sorts of discussions when we're discussing the pride issue, but it's fun. It's nice to people who want the education can get it. If I had any type of 3 different partners, even 2 partners, that requires a great deal of planning. Well, as long as, like I said, if everybody you're in a relationship with is also polyamorous, then everybody understands, So yeah, the P thing, man, it's the P thing. There's some other thing that I always mess that up with because they start with the same letters. I can't remember what it is. It has nothing to do with people who are queer. It was something else, but I can't remember what it is. Anyway. All right, so let's see. What do we have here? Here we have, I think this picture is upside down. Like, it looks upside down. I know it's like an overhead shot, but it looks upside down. This one is very obvious, I think, which flag this one is. I think this is a pretty easy one to guess what flag it is, but what it's going to be when it's done, no way you can guess from this little bundle. Oh, Sarah's got to guess anyway, though. Pride flag hat. Okay, so Sarah guesses it's a hat. Let's see. There's more. All right, it's very similar. I think it's just like another shot of the same thing. Oh, okay, that was it for these two. Was pride with those 2 things. Sunita, hi Sunita. We are sharing sneak peeks of the various items within the June issue, and people are guessing which flag it is, and I'm confirming which flag it is, and they're guessing what it's going to be, but I'm not confirming what it's going to be. So Monique says granny stripe pride. It is definitely pride, and yes, that is a granny stripe stitch. Obviously, that's the stitch pattern, not what the finished item is. So, pretty yarns, yes it is. Hey, Artsy Crafty, hi! I always want to say Artsy Craftsy D instead of Artsy Crafty. I'm starting to get it. I feel like I know that you rebranded, and I feel like maybe that was what it originally was, or maybe I just was wrong from the beginning, but I like Artsy Crafty. Yes, pretty colors, definitely. Pretty yarn and pretty colors. Okay, and again, gotta figure out which way the mouse goes. What do we have next? Aha! All right, there's another one of these, because right now with just one color, it's kind of hard to guess. Oops. Okay, so we're a little out of order. Hold on, we'll get to the other one. So this is another one of we already saw this one before. Here we go. So this one is the same obviously it's the same pattern as this one, but now you can see more of the colors so that you have a better chance on guessing the colors of guessing which flag it is. All right, here we go. Are those the progress flag color? Progress pride flag colors. The one before this was, yes, the one before this was the pride, was actually I think the traditional pride flag colors. Though I put in the progress pride flag in the magazine. I put the new progress pride flag in there and gave an explanation of all of it, because while most people know what the actual six color rainbow flag is, we did call it the progress pride flag because we added the black in there as well, but there isn't the brown or the light pink or the pink or the light blue. But I put the the new progress pride flag in with that pattern, and gave an explanation, because people know the 6 color flag, but then they get confused when you add the little chevrons over here, and then now with the little yellow triangle with the purple circle in the middle, people get seriously confused. So I did explain all of that in the magazine. And the shawl pattern, the wrap pattern, the shawl pattern that's going to be the sibling pattern that goes along, the individual pattern that goes along with the magazine, where like I use one stitch pattern from each of the designs. That shawl is made using the Furls Progress Pride color pack. So it uses Furls Wander yarn, but you can buy a color pack that's got one skein each of the 11 colors in the Progress Pride flag. So you can just buy that the Progress Pride flag pack from Furls and make the shawl. So I still put the Progress Pride flag in with that one, even though it's the 6 colors plus black, not all of them, because I wanted to make sure that I know that a lot of people had questions about that one. Pretty, it is pretty. I love this one. I love the colors on this. It's so pretty. Let's see. And Sarah says it's a beautiful mandala and that it's the Bai flag. Yes, it is the Bai flag. Oh, the Monique absolutely loves the granny one. Yes, it is the Bai flag. I'm not going to say whether or not it's a mandala, though in this case it is a decorative circle. So, I mean, but what the finished project is when it's all done, you'll just have to wait until Friday to find out, right? So, all right. I think that might be. I so many of this one. That's the last photo. All right, let me find my mouse. Oh my gosh. Like, because when I'm on the other screen, I then have 2 cursors and it's really confusing. And I want to check Instagram to see if I have any comments or questions. No more comments or questions over there. All right, awesomeness. So there we go. There are our awesome sneak peeks, which was so fun. There we go. It's the rhythmicness of the circular things. You don't know what it is, but you love. Yeah. And I think I do not know enough about like the history or the meaning behind like mandalas and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's part of what it is. My understanding is that that's part of what it is. I do not have enough education to say that with any sort of definitiveness, but I believe that's part of the kind of meditative and calming effects of creating and viewing mandalas, is the kind of the rhythmicness of it and the flow of it, and it's They're very, yes, they are. They're very calming. Those nice little, because there's not a beginning or an end, and there's no hard edges. It's just all very calm. I like those. Monique is going to explode. Thank you for making the anticipation 10 times bigger now. Angelus is loving the purple yarn. Yes. Listen, your teacher Jess, you're not supposed to have the answers to all. Exactly. I don't need to know everything. Thank you, Monique, for reminding me I don't have to know everything. So, yeah, the June issue comes out on Friday. Now, the way we're doing this now is, um, like my husband used to get, I don't even know if it happens anymore, Entertainment Weekly. And the only way to get the current issue was to have the subscription. Once it wasn't the current issue anymore, you could buy it as a back issue by itself. And a lot of magazines run that way, and that's how we're running now. Okay, so you can actually pop over to, I think if I go back to sharing my screen, I think I have behind this one, I think I prepared myself. Let's see. Yes, I do. Okay, so you can get, because we didn't have an issue in April and May, and so there's kind of that empty space that's not going to happen again, hopefully, but that was just transition since I just recently bought the magazine, and June is the first issue that's like all me. There was that little, so there's that little space, so things got a little wonky there, but you can pre-order your 12-month subscription or your summer bundle. So if you go over to, when you saw what I did, I clicked on the magazine, and then I clicked on bundles and subscriptions. All right. And you look at that, there's the renovation mega bundle, which is only available through tomorrow night. So tomorrow at the end of day, before I go to bed, I'm turning this off, and that's it. It's done. It's gone. All right. And this is every single Crochet Foundry issue from the beginning of Crochet Foundry through December 2023. Every single issue, which would cost $414.60 US dollars, you can buy for $174.99 US dollars. So some of you, this isn't going to be a good deal because some of you have been getting subscriptions for years, and so you're only missing maybe 2 or 3 issues, okay? But for others of you, this is an amazing deal. And some of you might have to do the math and go, oh, I'm missing like $300 worth of issues. So if you do this, you might end up with a couple doubles, but you're still saving money. So, figure it out. Those of you who don't have a lot of the back issues, this is going to be amazing. And I seriously doubt there's ever going to be anything equivalent to this sort of a deal. Monica, I see your question and I will get to it in a moment. Then over here, this is the June 2024 12-month digital magazine subscription. Okay. So if you buy this before download attached to it, that is simply this picture right here. That's all if I don't put a download on it, then when I add if I don't put a PDF, if I don't attach a PDF to it, then when I add the new PDFs, you won't get them. It has to have one PDF on it to begin with in order for you to get any new PDFs. It's just the way that it works. So there's a PDF, when you buy this, it'll say, download, and what you download is this picture. It's a placeholder. So on Friday, when the magazine goes live, you'll get an email if you buy this before the magazine goes live and you have the placeholder PDF. Then what happens is, as soon as I add the new PDF into this, I'll add a new PDF, and it'll be the June issue. It'll actually be 2 PDFs. There'll be the June issue, the regular issue, and then it'll also be along with every issue, you also get the we started this in March, and it's going to keep going. And I'm going to try to work it backwards as well eventually. But in addition to the to the regular June issue, You'll also get a little PDF kind of ebook that just has the patterns. So it'll have like the front page will be just the name of all the patterns, and you can click on them and it'll bounce you to that pattern. And when you go to that pattern, it'll just be the text of the pattern. It doesn't have a lot of the intro stuff because you can grab that yarns you need, which hooks you need, like a lot of that sort of stuff. Is that's really quick and easy to just grab from the magazine, but it does have like the special stitches and all of that. And then I'll have just the text of the patterns, no pictures at all, with the exception of if there's a chart, then the charts will be in there. But the other pictures, you don't need to complete it. And we do that for those of you, I mean, I happen to be one of these people. I like having the pattern in front of me so I can like mark off which, when I finish a line, I can mark it off. When I finish a row or whatever, I can mark it off. And if it's got multiple sizes, especially if it's got like 10 sizes, but if it's got multiple sizes, I will like take a pen and cross through the sizes I'm not making and then highlight or circle the size I am making so I don't make any mistakes. And I personally love doing that. I know I'm not the only one. So that's there for those of you who like to have the actual printout to work from when you're making a pattern. And I did it that way so that you can print just the one that you want. Just, when you're going to make one of them, you can just print out the one pattern that you're going to make at that time, not have to have all the other ones and not have to waste all the ink with all the pictures and the reformatting and the this and that and everything like that. So that's moving forward. All our issues are going to be like that. Okay. So on Friday, when the pattern is released, if you've pre-ordered, if you've bought the subscription beforehand, or if you bought the bundle beforehand, instead of just having the little sneak peek cover as a placeholder, you'll also get the PDF of the magazine and the PDF of the kind of ebook of patterns, okay, of text-only patterns. And so what'll happen is as soon as I attach those on there, I'll click the little button that says email, send an email to all previous customers, and it'll send out an email to all of you and say, you have new downloads, and there'll be download links there. Keep the emails with the download links, because Shopify subscriptions sometimes decides that they let you get the download links from the website, from the Shopify store, and sometimes decides that you don't. So just keep the emails with the download links so you know that you have them. If you lose them, just send me an email at support@crochetfoundry.com and say, Jessie, my order number was XYZ. And, the little banner, there we go. And I can't find the download email. Could you please resend it? And I will resend you. All I need is your order number. And you get the order number by going to, you see this little dude right here? If you click on him, it will give you all of your previous orders. So if you ever can't get one of your previous orders, you click on him and it'll give you the previous orders. Some of them it'll allow you to download from the Shopify store. Some it won't. But if you click on him and it doesn't allow you to download it, or it says that it will, and then when you try to do it, there's nothing, that it just doesn't work, just send me the order number and say, could you please resend the download email? And I will resend the download email. And then try to keep a hold of it. But if you lose it again, just email me again. All right? Now, if the same one of you keeps emailing me every single week, I might get a little angry. I might get a little annoyed. But I don't see that happening. So we all lose things now and again. So it's not a big deal. It's fine. Don't stress about it. Comments. I'm trying to make sure that I'm looking at the right thing, because I know there are still comments. And then, so yeah, the two places you can get the June, right now, the two places you can get the June pattern, the June magazine is not coming out until Friday, but you can pre-order it either with the 12-month subscription or with the summer bundle. Okay, so if you're new to Crochet Foundry and you're not sure if you want a whole 12-month subscription or if your budget is such that you can't afford to pay for 12 months at once. I mean, the 12-month subscription, you're paying for 10 and getting 12. So you're actually, it's 16 or 17% off. With the 3-month bundle, it's always going to be, this is June, July, and August. No matter if you buy it in June, July, or August, you're going to get June, July, and August. This, and then the next one will be fall, and then it's 3 months at a time. This is actually 10% off of the individual price. So these are the two things you can buy until the July magazine is released. When the July magazine is released, then you will be able to go up here and click on past issues. And then the June issue will be right here. All of these will move over. The June issue will be here, and you'll be able to buy the June issue as a past issue. Okay, but until July, you can't buy the June issue as a one-off. You can only buy it either as part of the summer bundle or as part of the June 12-month digital subscription. So the question we had right here, Monica, how can you find out how many issues left before you have to resubscribe? I would look at your orders. I definitely know from this point going forward, and I'm almost positive that before now as well, whatever subscription you got, it says the month of the month that you purchased the subscription. So how this one says it's the June 2024. Here, I'll scroll up so you can see it. Maybe. Come on. Okay, so you see how this one says it's the June 2024 12-month digital magazine subscription. That means you bought it in June 2024. You need to buy another one in June 2025. So it'll be June all the way through May. It'll be June 2024 all the way through May 2025. So whatever month it says you started that subscription, you need to buy a new one on that same month the next year. If it doesn't tell you that, and you can't tell by what your what's in your order or whatever, you can always send me an email and be like, I cannot understand this stuff. Can you explain it to me, please? Totally fair. Don't feel like it's a silly question. Okay. It's, to me, it's simple because I have been immersed in this for 6 months of my life. But you haven't. So I don't expect you to understand any of this as much as I do. All right. And Angelus likes our website. Thank you. Yeah, and this is what I do too. Monique says she highlights everything related to her size that she's doing a pattern because she's dyslexic, and your dyslexia gets the best of you more often than not. Yeah. And I'm not even dyslexic, and I still do it just because, it makes it easier for me. I prefer to work that way. I know there are others who do as well, so I try to make sure that I try to make it so that it works for any sort of way that you crochet. And if you find that there's something about the Crochet Foundry that doesn't work well for you when you're trying to make the pattern, it's like, this is really confusing because it doesn't work well for me because of this thing, or I wish it did that thing, send me an email. All right, go back to here to the support at Crochet Foundry. Go back to here and send me an email and say, hey, you know what, this would be nice, or hey, this confuses me, and we'll see what we can do. I like to hear from you guys. What's the point of making a magazine if it's not something that the people who are reading it like, right? Joanne also loves to mark up her patterns. Question, is the subscription now just the magazine, or are there gifts with it? Sorry if I already answered this. Sunita, it is just the magazine, and instead of the free gifts, like before, when you got a 12-month subscription, you were actually paying the regular monthly price times 12 exactly, and then you were getting the gifts because Furls owned the magazine, and so Furls could give you a hook along with it because they manufactured the hooks. And so they manufactured the hooks, and they had a shipping department. I do not manufacture the hooks, which means I would have to, even buying them at wholesale, they still cost me more than what they cost furls to make, right? And I do not have a shipping department, which means like I would have to like once a week bring a stack of boxes or have UPS or USPS show up at my house to collect a stack of boxes to send to all of you because I don't have a shipping department. And I have to get the boxes and I have to pack them all. One of me, lots of you. Um, Logistically, it does not work in this situation. Logistically, it worked wonderfully when the magazine was owned by Furls because they had a shipping department and because they were the ones making the hooks, so they could afford to give them as the free gift with the subscription. So instead of doing the free gift with a subscription that logistically was going to be just make my life incredibly difficult and take a whole lot of time and just like be very expensive on my end, I decided instead to do you get 12 months for the price of 10, which is 17% off. And also now you get the, where's my mouse? The cursor. You get the summer bundle is 10% off the cost of buying each one individually. Okay. So you can do 12 months for the cost of 10, which is 17% off, or you can do a bundle of each season, that is 10% off, or you can wait until the following month to buy. You can wait until July and you can buy the individual issue of June as a past issue at full price. So those are all your little options of how to buy the magazine, with the different price points. Let's see. All right, that's the one I just answered. Good afternoon. I know we're like running, it's already 11 past the hour. But I wanted to make sure I answered all your questions. And when I pulled this part up, there were more questions. I think that's everything. So we showed you the renovation mega bundle is going to be gone at the end of day tomorrow night. So if this $174.99 is less than it would cost you to complete your collection of Crochet Foundry, then it is a good deal for you and go ahead and grab it. It's $414.66 worth of magazines for $174.99, 2020 through 20. So from the moment that Crochet Foundry first started all the way through 2023, it's all the magazines and all the guides. It's not any of the special collections that have been, here, there, and around. None of those are there, because they were only like the rights were such that they were only able to sell them at those times, and obviously we have to respect the designer's rights. But it's every single issue and guide released from when Crochet Foundry started until all the way through December of 2023. All right. Then there is the June 12-month subscription. You buy it June 2024, you will get 12 months every time a new issue is released. You will get an email saying that you have a new download. Make sure you keep the emails with the download links because sometimes they're the only way to get the downloads. It all depends on the kind of mood that Shopify is in. And there are definitely lots of comments about that from lots of store owners. So hopefully eventually they'll listen to us. And then the other option is the summer bundle, which will get you June, July, and August. No matter when you buy it, it will always get you June, July, and August of 2024. So there you are. And hopefully I will see a decent number of you this evening. I'm going to, Monique. So hopefully I will see a decent number of you this evening. We have our Zoom from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. That's just under 6 hours from now. So 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time this evening, just under 6 hours from now, is our Zoom. And I hope to see a bunch of you there because we always have a really good time. And I will also see you again next week at our live. And don't forget to get your subscription because the magazine comes out on Friday and I'm so excited. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.